Rather than top-down innovation where I might be suggesting something, it's more about the aggregation of ideas across our entire team.
We were very inspired by the lean startup movement and trying to focus on testing and learning with new products and using tests to figure out which products are going to live versus die.
Customers can provide some of the answer, but you always have the old axiom from Henry Ford, which was, if I gave my customers what they really wanted, they'd tell me a faster horse. Ultimately, it's a balancing act between what we innovate on.
You have to have a very good critical thought process. You have to be able to prioritize.
That's the challenge, to try to be focused in what we have to do without discouraging the creativity, but at the same time making sure that it's aligned to what our vision.
The biggest challenge in innovation in our industry specifically is keeping up. We develop products ahead of time to try to help our clients, even though they didn't realize that they needed the actual product or service, but once we introduce it, they realize they can't do without it.
So many times we go out and create and invent technology that is really, you walk into a client and they're like, well, that's great, what are we going to do with that? And the first thing I want to look at is, okay, which of my clients that I'm going to solve a problem for them, and can I walk through the door and they're going to say, yeah, you've got it and we want it.
A lot of big companies focus on having everything perfect the first time and not really trying to do an internal retrospective on what happened and trying to improve it.
It's all about taking the 90% that you got right and iterating on the rest.
When I was a kid, my father said, you're going to drive down the road of life, and sometimes there's big rocks, medium rocks, and little rocks in the way. Always remember, get rid of the big rocks first.
CEOs that I've admired as far as how they create their innovation. Steve Jobs obviously is one of the top ones out there. If you read some of his books and what he's done, he's been more of a driver, physically, pushing people to their limits to get the most out of them.
Mark Benioff from Salesforce. Why? Because what he came in is showed the market a whole new way of selling products with his software as a service model and his platform as a service model. And he really disrupted an entire industry of software sales.
Google. I like the approach where they let their employees spend a percentage of their time innovating. At the same time, they're focused in terms of where they want their employees to innovate.
Amazon.com does a really great job with innovation. Jeff Bezos does a really fantastic job in inspiring his team and building out products that are innovative and solve problems for everyday consumers.